Life has a way of teaching us lessons we never expected, and it doesn't care how old we are. But something special happens when you hit that milestone of 40. You've been through the highs, you've felt the lows, and you've learned things that you would never have understood in your youth. The beauty of life truly begins at 40 because you've earned it. You've built a foundation of experience, wisdom, and confidence. The years leading up to this point haven't been easy, but they've prepared you for what's to come. At 40, you understand the value of time. You don't waste it on things that don't matter anymore. You know who you are, what you want, and most importantly, what you're willing to fight for. The insecurities of your younger self fade, and you walk with a sense of self-assuredness that can't be shaken. You've put in the work, and now you're ready to show the world what you're really made of. Before you turn 40, you're still trying to figure things out, and that's okay. But when you hit 40, you realize that there's no more time for pretending or second-guessing. Life becomes clearer. You stop focusing on what people think of you, and you start focusing on what you think of yourself. It's at this age that the pressure of societal expectations starts to dissipate, and you begin to realize that you've been living someone else's dream for far too long. You've been told that you're supposed to be somewhere by a certain time, to have achieved certain things by certain ages. But now, at 40, you understand that it's not about the clock ticking, it's about the choices you make in each moment. Life at 40 isn't about proving anything to anyone anymore. It's about living on your terms. You start thinking differently when you reach 40. You look back at your younger self and you realize just how much of your life was spent chasing things that didn't truly matter. You thought you needed more money, more success, more recognition. But as the years pass, you come to understand that what you need is peace, purpose, and real relationships. You stop running on empty, chasing the wrong things, and start investing in things that will last. People change when they hit 40, and it's a beautiful thing. You stop allowing the wrong people into your life. You realize that time is precious and you can't afford to give it to people who don't value you. Life at 40 isn't about having a lot of people around. It's about having the right people who elevate you, who push you to be the best version of yourself. You've learned that quality far outweighs quantity, and that's the kind of wisdom you can only gain through years of experience. At 40, you learn to embrace the freedom that comes with age. You finally realize that life doesn't need to be so complicated. The drama, the stress, the constant striving to keep up with everyone else, those things become irrelevant. You learn to let go of the unnecessary burdens that you once thought were essential. You know now that simplicity is the key to happiness. Whether it's simplifying your relationships, your career, or your goals, you start stripping away everything that doesn't serve your growth. The realization hits you that there's no need to impress anyone anymore. The validation you once sought from others is no longer necessary. You validate yourself now, and that's more than enough. You've reached a point where you can confidently say that you've done your best and you're ready to keep pushing forward, but this time with purpose and clarity. At 40, you start realizing the importance of your own health, both mentally and physically. In your 20s and 30s, you might have ignored the signs, taken things for granted, or pushed your body beyond its limits. But as the years pass, you begin to feel the consequences of those choices. That's when the shift happens. You start taking care of yourself in ways you never have before. You begin to understand the importance of balance, mind, body, and spirit. You realize that success isn't worth it if your health is falling apart. You begin making conscious decisions about what you put into your body, how you treat your mind, and how you nurture your soul. It's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. And this shift is something that only comes with time, with maturity. At 40, you know that your body is the only place you truly live, so you take better care of it. You cherish your health because you now understand that without it, nothing else matters. When you're in your 40s, you realize that you've only just begun. The fire within you burns brighter than it ever has before. Your career is no longer a race to the top, but a journey of growth and fulfillment. You're not chasing titles anymore, you're chasing purpose. You're no longer motivated by what the world expects of you, but by what you expect from yourself. Your goals are clearer, and your vision is sharper. At this stage, you know that success isn't just about what you achieve, but who you become in the process. You stop comparing yourself to others because you've realized that your journey is uniquely your own. The people who once intimidated you no longer have the power to make you feel small. You're no longer seeking approval from others because you've learned to approve of yourself. You've reached a stage where you can confidently say, I'm doing this for me. And that's when the magic happens. You understand, finally, the power of letting go. At 40, you realize that the past doesn't define you. It's the lessons you've learned from it that shape your future. You don't carry the weight of regrets anymore. You've learned how to forgive others and yourself. You've accepted that mistakes are a part of the journey and they don't have to hold you back. The baggage you've carried for so long is no longer something you allow to define who you are. You let go of the toxic habits, relationships, and thought patterns that once kept you in a constant state of frustration. You've stopped holding on to things that no longer serve you, and that's when true freedom begins. You embrace the idea that the best is yet to come because you know that the past was simply preparing you for something bigger. At 40, you realize that the past doesn't have a hold on you anymore. You decide what your future looks like. Turning 40 is a turning point. It's not just a number, it's a new chapter. You're not the same person you were at 20, 30, or even 35. You've shed the skin of your former self and embraced the person you were always meant to be. You begin to understand the importance of self-love. The love you once sought from others is now something you cultivate within yourself. You've learned that in order to give love, you must first. You've found a sense of peace that you never thought possible. The insecurities that once plagued you no longer have a place in your life. You are comfortable with who you are, with the decisions you've made, and with the life you've built. You no longer need to prove yourself to anyone. You stand tall and walk in the truth of who you are. This is the freedom that comes with age. And at 40, you're ready to embrace it fully. At 40, the fear of failure fades away. You failed enough to understand that failure doesn't define you. It's not the end, but merely a lesson in the making. You stop being afraid of making mistakes because you now know that they're a natural part of the process. The fear of rejection that once held you back no longer has the same power over you. You've been rejected enough times to realize that it's not about you, it's about the situation, the timing, and the people involved. You begin to understand that rejection is simply redirection. It's the universe's way of showing you something better. The fear of judgment that once kept you playing small no longer holds you in its grip. At 40, you embrace the idea that what others think of you is none of your business. You're too busy focused on your own growth, and you've learned that success is internal. You no longer seek validation from external sources. You no longer let other people's opinions determine your worth. The validation you once sought from family, friends, or strangers is now something you give to yourself. You've come to realize that the only approval you need is your own. At 40, you start building your life on your own terms. You stop waiting for permission to live the life you deserve. You understand that the power to create the life you want is within you. The world may try to tell you that you're too old to chase your dreams, but you know better. You've learned that age is just a number. It's never too late to start over, to reinvent yourself, to pursue new goals. And that's what makes life at 40 so powerful. The world becomes yours for the taking because you're no longer waiting for the right moment. You're creating it. At 40, you start to understand the real meaning of resilience. You've been through enough storms in life to know that the winds of adversity don't have the power to break you anymore. You've seen what it's like to fall down, to face setbacks, and to question your strength. But with every obstacle, you grew stronger. With every challenge, you learned something new about your ability to rise above it. Life at 40 teaches you that resilience isn't about never falling, but about getting back up every time you do. You've stopped viewing failures as setbacks, and instead you see them as opportunities to grow and evolve. You no longer fear difficulty, you welcome it because you know that overcoming it only adds to the person you're becoming. This is the power of experience. It teaches you that no matter what life throws your way, you have everything inside of you to endure, to fight, and to emerge victorious. As you step into your 40s, you also realize the importance of legacy. The choices you make today, the actions you take now, will echo long into the future. You start thinking about the impact you want to have on those around you. It's no longer just about achieving personal success, it's about what you leave behind for others. Your children, your family, your community, and even the strangers whose lives you touch, they will remember the way you lived, the way you treated them, and the way you handled adversity. This is when you start to ask yourself, what will my legacy be? The answer isn't just about accumulating wealth or accolades, but about creating a life that inspires others. You begin to prioritize not just what you want to accomplish for yourself, but how you want to help others reach their full potential as well. You realize that your true wealth isn't measured in dollars, but in the relationships you build, the lives you touch, and the good you do in the world. At 40, you understand that your life's purpose is bigger than just you. When you're younger, you may have been more concerned with fitting in, with being part of the crowd. But at 40, you start to embrace your individuality. The idea of blending in or conforming to the norms of society loses its appeal. You've been through enough in life to realize that the most powerful thing you can be is yourself. You've seen the value in authenticity and have learned that pretending to be something you're not only robs you of the peace that comes with being true to who you are. At this stage, you don't need to seek approval from others. You are comfortable in your own skin. You wear your individuality like a badge of honor, knowing that being different isn't something to shy away from, but something to celebrate. Life at 40 is about stepping into your own power and allowing the world to see you for who you truly are. And when you do that, you begin to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences. You stop hiding and start living unapologetically. One of the most empowering realizations that comes with turning 40 is the understanding that it's never too late to change. By now, you've been through different phases of life, and you've probably gone down paths that weren't the right ones for you. You've probably made decisions that you regret. But here's the thing, the past doesn't have to dictate your future. At 40, you realize that you have the power to make a new choice. It doesn't matter how many years you've spent in a job, a relationship, or a lifestyle that doesn't serve you, you still have the ability to pivot. Life at 40 is about embracing transformation. You begin to see every challenge as an opportunity to evolve into the person you were always meant to be. You stop seeing age as a limitation and start seeing it as an advantage. The experiences you've gained up until now have prepared you to handle the changes with grace and confidence. You understand that growth is a lifelong journey and there's no age limit to reinvention. Another profound change that happens at 40 is a shift in your perspective on time. When you're younger, you might think there's always more time ahead, but when you turn 40, you start to realize that time is a finite resource. You become more intentional with how you spend it. You stop wasting time on things and people who don't bring you joy or growth. You begin to prioritize your peace, your goals, and your well-being. Time becomes precious, and you understand that it's too valuable to waste on negativity, drama, or things that won't bring you fulfillment. You start living more deliberately. Every decision you make is aligned with your vision for the future. You make choices that reflect the person you've become and the person you're still becoming. You also understand that life is fragile, and the time you have left is not guaranteed. So you make the most of it, cherishing every moment and using it to move forward with purpose. Time no longer feels like something that's slipping away, but something you can control. At 40, you stop being afraid of making mistakes. You realize that mistakes are not failures, but stepping stones toward greatness. You stop letting the fear of making the wrong choice paralyze you. Instead, you embrace mistakes as part of the journey, as necessary learning experiences. You understand that the fear of failure is often worse than the failure itself. You stop worrying about making the perfect decision and start making decisions that are right for you in the moment. You give yourself permission to make mistakes and learn from them, knowing that they are an integral part of your growth. This shift in mindset is powerful because it frees you from the limitations you once imposed on yourself. You stop letting perfectionism hold you back, and you begin to embrace the beauty of imperfection. You realize that it's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. And that's the key to success. At 40, you understand that failure is simply the process of learning and evolving. You're no longer afraid of it, you welcome it as a necessary part of the journey. As you continue to move through your 40s, you also start to place greater value on the relationships in your life. You've learned over time that relationships are one of the most important aspects of living a meaningful life. At 40, you begin to understand that true wealth isn't about the number of material possessions you have, but the people you choose to surround yourself with. You learn to value the people who genuinely care for you, who support you, and who bring out the best in you. You realize that it's not about quantity, it's about quality. You no longer waste time trying to please everyone, but focus on building deep, meaningful connections with the people who truly matter. These relationships become a source of strength and comfort as you continue to grow, and you begin to cherish the bond you have with those who have been with you through thick and thin. Life at 40 teaches you the importance of these connections, and you make it a priority to nurture them, knowing that they're the foundation of a fulfilling life. There's a deep satisfaction that comes with reaching 40. because you've come to terms with the fact that you cannot control everything. At this age, you've learned that you can't control other people's actions, reactions, or decisions. But what you can control is how you respond to life's challenges. The freedom that comes with understanding this is transformative. You stop trying to control every outcome and instead focus on how you can adapt and grow from whatever life throws at you. You realize that the only true control you have is over your own thoughts, actions, and mindset. This realization allows you to let go of unnecessary stress and anxiety. You stop overthinking and start trusting the process. You know that not everything will go your way, but you're okay with that because you've learned how to adapt. This is the wisdom that comes with age, the ability to accept that life is unpredictable, but that you are resilient enough to face it head on. 2, at your core, you know that you're worthy. You understand your actions matter. 3, the freedom that comes with turning 40 extends to your financial outlook as well. You've spent much of your life working hard to build a career, earn money, and achieve financial security. But at 40, you begin to shift your focus from merely accumulating wealth to understanding the true purpose of it. You realize that money is simply a tool. It's not the end goal, but a means to create the life you want. You start to think about how you can use your financial resources to make a positive impact on the world around you. Whether it's supporting causes you believe in, helping others, or investing in experiences that bring you joy, you understand that wealth is most valuable when it's used to create something meaningful. At 40, you've learned that financial freedom isn't just about having enough to live comfortably. It's about having the freedom to make choices that align with your values and your purpose. This perspective shift allows you to take control of your financial future in a way that feels empowering and fulfilling. As you step into your 40s, you also begin to embrace the idea that there's no such thing as a perfect time to make a change. The fear of waiting for the right moment or the right circumstances begins to dissipate. You start taking action instead of waiting for everything to align perfectly. You understand that there's no such thing as a perfect moment in life, and if you keep waiting for everything to be just right, you'll never make any progress. At 40, you realize that the key to success is taking the first step, even when you're not sure of the outcome. You stop being afraid of starting something new, whether it's a new career, a new relationship, or a new passion. You understand that the journey itself is what matters, not the destination. And as you continue to take action, you learn that the more you move forward, the clearer the path becomes. We all have our trials, but I can't wait to share mine and surrender to the process. I no longer need the bond that you can give me to know me. Life at 40 is about embracing uncertainty and trusting that you have the strength and wisdom to navigate whatever comes your way. When you're younger, you tend to be focused on external achievements, what you've accomplished, how others perceive you, and how much you've gained. But as you reach 40, you begin to understand the importance of internal fulfillment. You start to realize that true happiness comes from within, not from external accolades or material possessions. You stop measuring your success by how others see you and start measuring it by how you feel about yourself. At 40, you've gained enough perspective to know that external validation is fleeting. It's the internal sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment that truly matters. You begin to shift your focus from seeking approval to seeking authenticity. Life at 40 is about learning to be content with who you are, where you are, and what you've accomplished. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Instead, you live each day with gratitude for the journey, knowing that your worth is not defined by external accomplishments, but by the love, wisdom, and peace you've cultivated within yourself. One of the greatest gifts of turning 40 is the ability to embrace the present moment. For so long, you may have been caught up in the past, dwelling on regrets, or worrying about the future, always planning for what's next. But at 40, you begin to realize the power of living fully in the present. You learn to appreciate the small moments, the simple joys that you once overlooked. Whether it's enjoying a quiet morning with a cup of coffee, spending time with loved ones, or savoring a beautiful sunset, you begin to recognize the beauty of now. You've learned that the past is behind you and that the future is uncertain. The only moment you truly have is this one, and in this moment, you have the power to choose how you respond, how you feel, and how you live. At 40, you embrace the present as a gift, and in doing so, you unlock a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment than you ever thought possible. As you reach 40, you begin to understand the importance of forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. You've made mistakes along the way, and there may be things you wish you could change. But at 40, you come to realize that forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongs done to you or the mistakes you've made. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of carrying resentment, guilt, or regret. You begin to understand that holding on to these negative emotions only keeps you trapped in the past. You forgive others, not for their sake, but for yours. And most importantly, you forgive yourself. You learn that your mistakes don't define you. They are simply lessons that help shape the person you are today. Forgiveness at 40 becomes an act of self-love. It allows you to release the past and move forward with a sense of lightness and freedom. Life at 40 is about embracing the fullness of who you are, imperfections and all, and allowing yourself to heal from the hurts of the past. At 40, you've come to a point where you realize that life isn't about seeking perfection. It's about embracing the imperfections that make you who you are, the trials, the successes, the failures, and the triumphs. Each one has shaped you into someone with wisdom, strength, and resilience. You've spent enough time worrying about the future, regretting the past, and comparing yourself to others. Now, at this stage, you understand that the only measure of success is your growth, your peace, and your ability to live authentically. Life at 40 isn't a midlife crisis, it's a midlife awakening. You realize that the best is yet to come. The pressure to be everything to everyone has dissipated, and you are left with the clarity to focus on what truly matters. You start to make choices that align with your values, not because you want to prove something, but because you're finally living for yourself. The sense of urgency that once dictated your every move fades away as you learn to savor the journey and trust the process. You begin to prioritize what brings you joy, what fulfills you, and what nourishes your soul. In your 40s, you've learned the importance of balance. You understand that success isn't just about accomplishments and accolades, but about having time for the people you love, the activities that bring you peace, and the quiet moments of reflection. You no longer feel the need to hustle for the sake of hustling. Instead, you work with purpose, knowing that your time is too valuable to waste on things that don't align with your true mission in life. At 40, you know that true abundance comes from being present, from being grateful for the small things, and from cherishing each moment for what it is. You've also discovered the power of self-acceptance. At 40, you stop measuring your worth based on external standards or opinions. You stop trying to fit it into a mold was never meant for you. You've come to understand the world doesn't need you to be anyone other than yourself. Your uniqueness is your strength. It's your story, your experiences, and your perspective that make you powerful. And when you finally accept yourself, flaws and all, you open yourself up to the kind of peace that comes from knowing you are enough just as you are. The journey to 40 has been filled with ups and downs, but each one has been a part of your growth. You've learned lessons that have shaped your character, your mindset, and your approach to life. You know now that life doesn't begin at 40 because of some magical milestone. It begins when you decide to fully embrace the person you've become. And from this point forward, you move forward with purpose, with clarity, and with a heart full of gratitude. The best chapters of your life are just beginning. And at 40, you're ready to write them. You've earned the right to live life on your own terms, to follow your dreams, and to make the most of the time you have left. So, as you stand at this remarkable age, remember that life is not about waiting for something to happen. It's about taking action, embracing change, and creating the life you want. You have the wisdom, the strength, and the courage to face whatever comes your way. And now more than ever, you understand that the true gift of life is not in the destination, but in the journey itself. So go out there, embrace your 40s, and know that the best is yet to come.